Hi, I'm Danesha of Classified Life, and today we'll be doing a sew along for Know Me 2144, my new pattern. I will be doing view B, however you can follow the same sew along for view A. It's just a shorter version with no front drape and no train. Let's get started. Let's go over all the pieces you'll need for Me 2144. Pattern piece number 1 is the front. You're going to need 1 for both A and B. Pattern piece number 2 is the right back for A and B. Just 1 piece. Pattern piece number 3 is the left for both A and B. Cut 1. Pattern piece number 4, right sleeve, A and B, cut 1. Pattern piece number 5, left sleeve for both A and B, cut 1. Pattern piece number 6, front drape for A and B, cut 1. Pattern piece number 7, back drape, A and B, cut 1. Pattern piece number 8, guide for gathers, A and B. Pattern piece number 9, guide for gathers, A and B. Pattern piece number 10, guide for elastic, A and B. Now these last 2 pieces are only if you are doing view B, the gown. Pattern piece number 11 is going to be the front drape across the front bodice. You're going to cut 1. And pattern piece number 12 is going to be your train for view B, also cut 1. The thing I love about this pattern is you can feel free to mix and match. So if you want to do the front drape across the shorter version, you can do that. If you want to put the train on the shorter version, you can also do that. Now let's get to sewing. You'll need some 1/4 inch elastic, an invisible zipper, and 1/2 inch twill tape. I'll also be using my walking foot. I do want to discuss the cutting layout real quick for the dresses. If you're going to be using velvet for this project, I would suggest cutting with your fabric right side face down. What that means is you're going to have to mirror all of your pieces and cut them upside down out of your fabric so that you end up with the correct pieces. Because these layouts are showing right side up. You know that because here on the little guide it says right side up of fabric is dark gray, shaded dark gray. Now, if I had this right side up, my piece would come out backwards because I use velvet and I kept the right side of the velvet down. Okay, so when I was cutting my piece, I cut it like this. I had the right side with the pile down and the wrong side of the fabric up. Therefore, I had to cut all of my pattern pieces upside down like this. So the words would be facing down towards the back of the fabric. All right, let's get started. Step number 1 is going to be sewing our darts on our front piece, front 1. I have my front piece here. I have my darts marked. I'm going to go ahead and pin my darts. All right, when I get to the sewing machine and sew my darts, I like to start out at a 2.5 and I decrease the length of the stitch as I get close to the edge. You want to keep stitching until you are off the fabric and you're going to leave a tail to tie off. All right, so I'm back from the sewing machine. I have the darts all sewn up. You're going to press your darts up towards the top. And now we're going to go ahead and put this to the side for a second, and you're going to grab pattern piece number 11 for the middle drape. For pattern piece number 11, you're going to fold under 1.5 inches at the top and the bottom, and we're going to hem. And then we're going to go ahead and do 2 rows of gathers at the side because we're going to gather this piece down for the drape that will go across. All right, so I'm back from the sewing machine. I'm going to grab piece number 1, and we are working with 1 and 11. Now that I have my double row of stitching in place, we're going to gather up both sides and then attach it to pattern piece number 1. My markings are on the back as of right now. Obviously, we're attaching this to the front. I'm going to stick a pin in every place where I have my dot. All right, and we are going to be doing wrong side to the right side. Okay, so I have gone ahead and gathered up piece number 11 and pinned it to piece number 1, and I'm going to baste at the side seams. And then we're going to go ahead and set this to the side and grab piece number 12. You're going to go ahead and fold under 3/8 of an inch all the way around except for the top edge and hem. You're going to sew at 1/4 of an inch. So okay, so I have already taken piece number 12. I've hemmed all around, including the sides and the bottom. And now I have gathered the top and attached it to, if it's facing up, it's the right side, but it's going to be your left side of the garment. And I'm going to go ahead and baste this down. All right, we're gonna set this to the side. This is 1, 11, and 12. All right, you're gonna line up piece 2 and 3, and you're gonna sew from the top to your notch, back stitching at the beginning and the end at the machine. All right, I'm back from the machine, and I have gone ahead and stitched at the top, like it said, to the notch and back stitch. Now we're gonna be inserting our zipper. Go ahead and follow steps 9 through 12 for inserting your zipper, whatever method you prefer. All right, I am back from the sewing machine and my zipper is in. I just went ahead and followed the instructions and did one side then the other, and now I'm at step number 11 where I'm going to close it up and double check. It looks good to me. There we have an invisible zipper. The next step is to go ahead and take this, start a little bit above the zipper. It says to start about 3 inches up with your zipper foot and sew, and then you can switch back and finish sewing down to the marking you should have made for the split opening. And here's my marking. I have dots on both sides, so either side, and you're going to sew down to here, back stitch at the end, and stop. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and attach the front and back together at the side seams and the shoulder seam. All right, and I am back from the machine. Now I'm going to set this to the side, and you're going to want to grab pattern pieces number 4 and 5. We're going to be working on our sleeves. So we're going to go ahead and grab our sleeves, pattern pieces 4 and 5. I'm going to go ahead and work on both of these. So I'm going to take this one to the machine, and I'm going to stay stitch the top. And stay stitch is when you just do a regular stitch at the seam allowance, back stitching at the beginning and the end so that it doesn't stretch out. And then on this one, we're going to do a ease stitch. And then for this one, you're going to ease stitch between the dots, the outer dots. Ease stitch is a basting stitch, so you're going to use your longest stitch to do that. After that, while I'm at the machine, I'm going to go ahead and fold both of these over and sew the inner seams, and then turn up an inch and hem the bottom. All right, got 2 rows of ease stitch, and I already did the stay stitch on the top of this sleeve. Go ahead and sew the side seam. Oh darn, bobbin is running low. I love that. All right, now you want to go ahead and grab the dress and sleeve number 4, which is our right side that we stay stitched at the top. All right, we're going to attach this sleeve by putting right sides together. You're going to match up your notches, take it to the machine and then stitch again a 1/4 inch within the seam allowance. Now you're going to grab pattern piece number 5, which is your left sleeve, and we're going to insert it. We'll be sewing right sides together. So I'm going to go like this and bring this through here and pin all the way around. You're going to sew it in the same manner. sew it, and then within a 1/4 inch of the seam, sew it again. Or within a 1/4 inch of the previous stitch, sew within the seam. Alright, I'm back from the machine. We have both the left and right sleeves put in. We're going to go ahead and set the dress to the side, and you're going to grab your pieces for the front and back shoulder drape. Alright, pattern 6 is the front drape. That is the longer piece. And then 7 is going to be the shorter piece, which is your back drape. Alright, you want to go ahead and take your 2 pieces and match up your notches and your dots, and then sew your side seam. While we're at the machine, we're also going to be gathering between these 2 dots. So you're going to want to do a row of gather stitches. So you can go ahead and take your twill tape with your markings, align the dots. I'm going to gather a little bit more to line up. Then you can base this in place and then sew through all layers. I'm going to use a zigzag stitch and sew through all layers. Okay, so in the previous step, we sewed this side. The directions say to base, but I'm going to go ahead and just sew over here and then do my gathering and do the twill tape all the same. All right, so I have got my twill tape attached between the dots on both sides. Next, we're going to do a tack hem. What that means is we won't be stitching all around the hem. Instead, we'll just be tacking it at the side seams. So you're going to turn up 2 inches on your lower edge and then press and tack hem to the drape at the side seams. I'm going to just stitch in the ditch up 2 inches on each side. You can go ahead and grab your dress, and we're going to attach the shoulder drape and create a casing for elastic. I went ahead and stay stitched the top of the drape, and now we're going to connect it to the dress. You're going to pin the right side of the drape to the wrong side of the garment. Okay? Right side of the drape, wrong side of the garment. Even though that's what you see, what's actually happening is we are pinning like this. So again, wrong side of the dress or the wrong side of the garment to the right side of the drape. Okay, so right side of your drape, wrong side of your garment. I'm going to match up those seams. Match up your seams, match up your notches. You have this double notch right here. So go ahead and take your time, go all the way around, and then we're going to take it to the sewing machine and stitch. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and create the casing and insert our elastic. You have your seam allowance from connecting your drape to the garment, and now we're going to stitch on the top to create the casing, insert your elastic, and close it up. Last step is to hem your split and the bottom of the dress, and you are all done. And that's all for this sew along. Be sure to tag me whenever you post your dress. I can't wait to see it. Until next time.